Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, it's time!
And welcome everyone to a Circle Debate Cage My IQ Championship on the Line MMA podcast here, ladies and gentlemen, on the Bloodline Entertainment Network and Circle Debate. Ladies and gentlemen, the host is the easiest one I've been see here with mi familia, the greatest faction of all time here, ladies and gentlemen. My blood, my sangre, my all. We're going to introduce a man with an IQ that I wish Dana White did not make that announcement on post-conference because that was pathetic what he did. But I will hope he has a better IQ than Dana White. Dan Baker, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. That is right. And then, of course, we got the man that brings that rage out of you to put in that cage and introduce you to some pain. Because this man, he's a phenomenal one himself, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Rage. Ira, baby. That's right. Ira, baby. That's right. Yeah. That is right. Round of applause. Round of applause. Everywhere. That is right. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. So hope you guys, everybody enjoyed Roto Slappers today. Fantastic. Streets always killing it with the MLB fantasy draft. If you haven't seen it, go back and look at it on the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Look at it now. They did a fantastic job. So now we're here to end it here for tonight, for this evening on the network and on Circle Debate. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're here tonight to go ahead and recap UFC 286, and that is, of course, Edwards Usman 3, followed by your co-main event, Justin Gaethje versus Visvid. This is, man, I can't wait to get involved in this one, man. But there's a lot of things that I want to digress. I do really want to digress. I can't wait to hear you guys' feedback on this overall. I am excited because, especially throughout the chat, I love it how we have the chat, man. That's for people that do not know. Of course, we chat over watching the fights. They're like, "What the fuck's going on over here?" Like, it was just so much shit that it was so much controversy. The scores and everything else overall was just like, does it make fucking sense? I mean, I don't know, you know. But we're gonna get into it with you guys. Bakley, hit us off. What's the first fight of the evening?
Yeah, the first fight in the main card, we had a middleweight matchup. We had Marvin Vettori, who defeated Roman Dolidze by decision 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27. And here's one of the pictures from the fight.
Oh, yeah. Man. Love it. Hell yeah. Fantastic. All right, there we go. So, Bakley, break it down, brother. Give us your feedback.
There's a lot of controversy with this one on a lot of people that I've talked to, where they felt like Dolidze got robbed in this one on the decision. I thought it was a very close fight. It was a matter of going into this. Exactly what happened was what I thought probably would happen is Vettori would do a lot of volume. He would throw. A lot of times he doesn't throw with intent to, like, knock you out. He's just putting volume out there to, like, rack up volume. He's usually moving forward, but this fight, Dolidze was the one pressuring forward, throwing kind of a lot of haymakers. And
yeah, I noticed that too.
He definitely, I felt like, won the first round. He landed some good shots in that first one. I actually thought it almost was going to get stopped at one point. It's just that he slowed down and was throwing, like, haymakers every now and then, but he was kind of, like, picking and choosing his spots, and kind of allowed Marvin Vettori to get back into the fight and then get his game going of just the volume game, and then he took him down a couple times. Like, you could say round two could have been, like, both ways, because he landed a couple good shots, but then Vettori had more of the volume and kind of took over in the latter half. But then round three was to me all Vittori, and then the judges had it 29-28. Him at, like the third judge, I don't know what he was seeing going 30-27.
That's what I'm saying. What the fuck was that?
We're gonna get into. It's always gonna be that thing where I think the judge got the right winner, but the wrong score. Like, it's always something with the judges. Like, I like 29-28. If a judge would have went 29-28 for, let's say, I would be like, okay, I could see why, because of the round 2. But to go 30-27, Marlon Vittori is just, to me, asinine. But I definitely had him win, but I had him win 29-28. I gave him rounds 2 and 3.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm not gonna add anything what you said. I'm with you 100%. Just for me, it just overall what really threw me off was that 30-27. Like, what the fuck is? I went back a little bit. I saw it the same. I didn't see this was a fun fight, by the way. Great,
yeah,
fantastic work both sides. You know, Delice did fantastic, Vittori too, but I feel like Delice did more damage, more of his speed on. His counter strikes were really great. I really enjoyed it. But the only thing is, I went back to see why was this 30-27, and there's no fucking explanation to me. I hope Coach can find it for me because I couldn't find it. So I don't get it, Coach. You break it down for us. I'm out of words on this one.
So on the prediction show, I predicted that that Marvin would win, and I also, clearly said that I was biased because I know Marvin and I know his people. But he's not with the same people anymore. He had different people in his corner. He didn't have Rafael Cordero there, so I don't know what happened there. But I actually thought that Delice won the fight. If we're going to call it a fight, right? Now, if we're going to use different scoring criteria other than actual fighting. So the biggest problem with the judges is they're not fighters. They've never fought. Most of them haven't even trained a real martial art. So, judging, working as a judge, you are hired by the state athletic commission. So you're actually a government worker, which is ridiculous, but it's what we got, right?
Right.
So I'm part of it when I look at scoring. I also, scoring and judging is against my religion. To me, if you're fighting, you fight for the finish, and if you don't get the finish, you didn't do your job, and it really doesn't matter who won because you both lost. That's how I look at it. That's how I train my fighters. That's really that's how fights actually work. Real fights. This is all bread and circus. This is all entertainment. So, who would you rather be? Would you rather be Delice or would you rather have been Vittori? Vittori got hammered in the group chat that you had mentioned. Halfway through round 1, I said, "Oh, Marvin's getting knocked out."
Yeah, he almost was knocked out.
Yeah. But apparently, Marvin cannot get knocked out. His head is made of concrete. But he took some massive shots from Delice, and Delice went out there and threw everything that he had at Vittori, but Vittori started figuring out the distance, the timing. Delice started getting tired. Marvin, man, very durable, very tough, right? So I don't know. No way did Marvin win the first round. Marvin definitely lost the first round. Second round is close. Third round, Marvin won. So the 30-27 score is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And 2 of the judges saw that Marvin had more volume and did more work in round 2, but he also took more damage. So, the scoring criteria, is imperfect. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I personally, I didn't think it was a great fight. Um, Technically, it was sloppy. It was ugly. It was unsophisticated. And I expected more from Marvin. I expected more better angles. I expected him to figure this out sooner, not get slammed as much as he did. But thing is, it's great to be tough in MMA, but that's Plan D. It's not Plan A. To
Right.
get hit in the face first. No, 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 no. Um. So yeah, I guess I don't know what else there is to say. Um. Good violence, fun to watch, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you put it right. I mean, it was a fun fight to see. It just for me, what threw me out of line was just that scoring card. That's the only thing that.
Oh yeah.
It's
I'm
ridiculous.
looking at it right now. They were going with volume with the round one because with the significant strikes, it was 39 to 29 Vittori. And then he outlanded Dalitze in every round.
Yeah.
But it comes to the same situation when we want damage to outweigh the volume outweighs it. But then when we want volume to outweigh the damage outweighs it. It's always the opposite of what we want it to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've said it all this time. Why do they I know why they have the judges right there. They have them sitting up close, but I feel like the cage is in the way. They're not going to see everything. I feel like it should be a situation where the judges should be up top in a box, kind of like what an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator would be in football, so they can oversee the whole field. You can put them in there, have them look at a TV where they can watch the fight like anybody else that judges it, watches it on TV, where they can see all the action, because when they're up close, they're going to miss a lot of small stuff, a lot of details. They might not catch a shot because maybe the cage is in the way, blocking a certain view.
But before that, how about some training, some education, and some accountability?
Absolutely, 100% agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
anytime there's an errant score like this, whoever wrote that score should be put under review.
Or
know?
or not
They
to even
should-
be a judge.
Yeah, and but then we get people like Adelaide Bird, so
That's true. You don't want to.
and Saul Diamato. But as soon as I started making fun of Saul, he started judging better, and I'm sure it was all me that did that.
I'm pretty sure he's been watching. He's
He's been tuning in. He's like, oh
He's
shit,
been
Rage.
tuning in.
I'm gonna
doing
pay
his
more
homework.
attention to damage. Yeah.
There you go. Oh man, absolutely yes. Oh man. Oh, what's going on, Tim? Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody. Yep. Tom Broadcast, Bo Jackson, Kobe Wieston, River City Radio. Thank you. And Polar Nights, I believe so too, from Twitch. And we're on Twitch as well. As a barber, I love this podcast. It is the most perfect evolution of beard growth, man. That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate you for
And this one over here too. Yeah, actually, none of us compare to
Delete
here. He's got us beat on the beard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man. And the abs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Right there you go. Especially the abs for me. What do we got next, Bagley? Next fight.
Yeah, the next one we got a women's flyweight matchup. We had we had Jennifer Maia defeated Casey O'Neill by decision 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. Here's one of the pictures from the fight. Maia throwing an overhand shot on to Casey O'Neill. I'll let you start this one out.
I'll start it off because it was a good fight. Good job for Maia. I mean, we mentioned last week that Maia's consistency is there, and we noticed that. And I felt like O'Neill wasn't. I don't know if it was his fear. I'm not quite sure what was it. I was looking at her footwork a little bit. I think that could be the factor because coming back from the tour ACL MCO injury, maybe the factor why she probably did not have a lot of movement around the octagon, which might take advantage, and which is the reason why she dominated the whole fight. I mean, it's an unfortunate, but hey, I mean, mind you, Maya just came from a recent fight, so yeah, she's on. She's like an energizer bunny. Just keep on. She's going. So right now, yeah, she's constantly going. So good win for her, and we'll see that will put her in title contention. I know that eliminates O'Neal from the rankings himself. I believe so. I'll double check, but good fight. Good for Maya. Good win. Loved it overall. Go ahead, Baker. Take it away.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too upset if I was Casey O'Neal just coming off the injury. It was a pretty major injury, I would say, the least, being out that long. And I just felt like she couldn't get anything going. She couldn't get any traction with what she wanted to do with the striking. And then it didn't help that a major part of her game is the jiu-jitsu and grappling side of things. And Maya just did a great job of defending anything. With the Casey O'Neal kind of being stuck with the striking round one, she wanted to incorporate trying to take her down round 2 and 3, but it got stuffed every single time. I think it's going to be something where she's going to have to just try something a little bit differently than trying to force a takedown. The commentary booth was kind of nitpicking at the way she was going, and she wasn't like committing to the takedown. She'd go in there, grab her, but then she would grab her the wrong way, and then kind of, I wouldn't say give up, but she would go to a different position and then start striking again. She started to get the striking going. They made the point to mention that she should have spammed the jab a little bit more on Maya because she was hitting her every time with the jab. But Maya just had an answer for everything that she did. She was game ready for this. Her striking was quicker. Casey O'Neal was looping a lot more of her shots, so that's why Maya was connecting before she was connecting combinations, while she was only hitting 1 to 2 strikes every time. But this is something she can learn from. This is something she could go back in, collect data, get back into training, and use that for the future, because she's not old. She's rather young, where Maya's older. Maya's more seasoned. And I think this is going to make Casey O'Neal more dangerous in the future, having a fight like this where she got that loss under her belt and she can take it and then improve herself.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Coach, break it down for us.
This fight was awful. This was a huge step back for women's MMA. I'm actually quite frustrated. I'm mad at the ladies. I was a huge advocate for women's MMA, and back in the day, and I know I sound like back in the day, I sound like my grandfather. I know, but in the early years, women had a chip on their shoulders. They had something to prove. Then they came out to fight every fight, and they were aggressive and vicious, and many of them were very skilled, but what they didn't have in skill, they made up for in intention and ferocity. This fight, to me, was a step back. Casey O'Neal looked like an amateur, and Jennifer Maya, she's ranked high, right? She's ranked like.
I'm looking at the rankings
4.
now. She is now currently at 8. I don't know if this is the actual
Okay,
update.
so she's in the top 10.
Yeah.
But that's not top 10 technique. That's not top 10 work. Her striking is it's fast, but it's not good. So I'm pretty upset about this. And at least the judges got it right, I guess.
Another 30-27, right?
Yeah, but I would
Yeah.
have given it a 30-27. I didn't see Casey O'Neill being in this fight at all. And it was very disappointing for me to see.
I mean, like I said, like you think that was the factor, though, Coach, was the factor because of her, her recent, leg injury was the factor that really mentally kind of messed with her in a way that she couldn't really do anything for her to be like an amateur at all throughout those 3 rounds.
Maybe. Honestly, I'm not familiar enough with her work. I would have to go back and see. Like her footwork was terrible. And it's like, okay, well, has her footwork always been terrible? And she's just been able to get a hold of her opponents and then take them down. And she's long and strong and, or did the injury actually change her? And if the injury changed her that much,
Mm-hmm.
then, go home.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, yeah. And honestly, like when we were discussing it over the chat, there was half the fight I tuned out. I stopped watching. I don't care.
Hey, yeah, there was a point in the second round I was just like, man, this is just like.
And see, I know I sound like an asshole, okay, but this is my profession. This is what I do. I train fighters, and there is plenty of room to slack. There's plenty of room, especially in the women's division, because it's so thin and there's so few. You can put in a lackluster performance, collect your paycheck, go home, take a vacation, get fat, lose the weight. You can do all that, and a lot of fighters do that. But it's man, and our sport deserves better, and you deserve better. You as a fighter, like, come on, fucking represent.
Yeah.
Put it in, invest in yourself. You're going to be watched by millions of people, and if you have brainwashed yourself with your yes men and your little boyfriend and whatever that's what people want to see. It's not. It's not. We want to see good mixed martial arts.
Agreed.
Good athleticism. Good. Just be better.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I think seeing the last 2 years, it's been a really kind of like a step back for the women's overall. And I mean, I agree 100%. We're all advocates of the women's, of course. Women empowered, we encourage it, of course, and we want that for them. But like how you mentioned, it just seeing the last 2.5 years, probably a little bit more, it's just been stagnant. It hasn't been for us to be anticipating for like a main event, for instance. It hasn't been like even fighting overall, like just the fighters, it just has not been the same. Yeah. And I question it why. What's the concern? How you mentioned, is it outside interference? Like, is it really like, hey, is it the husband, the boyfriend, or the coaches? Like, yes, or is it fucking Dana White probably telling you don't do this? We don't know. We're not there, but it's just it's becoming becoming.
I mean, part of it is MMA is hard, right?
Yeah.
And to do MMA right is really hard. But then, women don't get the same pay, and everyone in MMA is underpaid.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of it's the human nature to be lazy, and that's not fair, right? Because no one that does any kind of fighting is lazy, right? Yeah. But you're lazy compared to the benchmark that you need to hit, right? And the reason that you haven't done that is you haven't gotten everything squared away, and it's a huge commitment. It's people will say that training is time consuming, but training and fighting is all consuming. You have to obsess 24/7. You have to train in your sleep. You got to have your diet on point. You've got to have your strength and conditioning on point. You got to train grappling. You got to train striking. You got to pay attention to your marketability in your business. And then you got the mental conditioning.
Yeah.
Each one of those is an individual rabbit hole, an individual profession. You can spend a lifetime studying just mental conditioning,
Right.
right?
I
Or
agree.
just strength and conditioning, or nutrition, right? Striking, ground. Each one of those is an eternal lifetime of study. So anyway, yeah, you need to have a superhuman level of commitment and focus in order to succeed at this game. And what we're seeing is because there's so few women
Yeah.
that the standards are lower, right? E- But it doesn't mean that that's okay. That's just how it is right now.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I think also like I look at this with Casey and it's like maybe she got exposed for who she beat so far. Yeah.
Right?
And matchup wise, like there's a lot of MMA is matchup and style wise. You
Yep.
could look very good. I don't want to overshadow it, but you look at somebody like I always say, look at somebody like Ronda Rousey, where she looks so great in UFC, but then you realize sort of they put her up against a lot of grapplers, and then when they finally put her up against a striker, she lost. Like two very good strikers in Holm and Amanda Nunez, and she got overpowered and knocked down both of those matchups. It's just that she wasn't going up against somebody that was going to try and knock her head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of it.
There is another
because-
element to this industry, right? That there is the beauty competition element that idealistically it shouldn't be there, but realistically, the more attractive women tend to sell more, draw more eyes. So some of people maybe get a little bit of a easier walk to the octagon because they are better looking, more attractive, and more marketable. That's the phrase, more marketable, right?
Yes.
And they do
Yes.
it with guys too, right? It's
Of
just
course.
there's just different. It's not about beauty with the guys. It's about marketability. It's about the it factor and whatever else,
Yeah.
whatever country you got behind you. So yeah. Anyway, it's entertainment. What are you gonna do?
That's true. That's why certain aspects, certain areas in every sport, there's always going to be an entertainment. That's why they'll label it as well. Besides being a sport, also sports entertainment because there's always
Right.
an entertaining side to it.
Yeah. So I would always say this is show business. Wait. This is show business masquerading as a sport, calling itself a fight.
Oh, well said. Love that. I didn't talk about that. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now you got me thinking now. Oh shit! All right. Oh,
That's
word of the day,
something.
folks.
Well, and that's something that I always have to remind myself is that end of the day, it's not even a sport. It's entertainment. It's show business. And you know, I'm a fighter. My fighters are fighters. We fight. This is our outlet. If we don't fight here, then we fight elsewhere and go to jail. That's no good. So, so we fight in a sport that allows us to fight, but it's not a fight. It's a sport, and it's not really even a sport. It's actually just showbiz.
Mm, love it. Love it. All right, Bakley, take us to the next fight. What do we got?
We got a welterweight matchup. Gunnar Nelson defeats Brian Barberina by first round sub armbar, as you see it right there. You got the armbar that won this one. I'll get started with this one. Not much to it. We thought that Barberina was going to have a tough time defending the takedown. He did. He basically got controlled on the mat for 3 minutes. And then he rolled right into the armbar. Nothing, not much to talk about with this one, other than the fact that what we thought would happen happened. I didn't think it was going to happen that soon, but
Me neither.
Gunnar Nelson comes in with the victory here. and his boy Conor McGregor was there to congratulate him, and that's his second win since coming back from being out for a couple of years. 2 quick victories.
That's awesome. Congrats to Gunner. You know, I mean, I'm with you. There's nothing much to input on this. You've already pretty much said everything what you had to say. I'm like, damn, that was quick. Time 4 minutes and 51 seconds. That's it. Oh my god.
It was just a matter of, was he going to be able to take him down? Would he try to? Would he go that route, or would he stand and try and make a point? Knowing that Barberina is all about getting into those car crashes, putting on a fight. Just like Coach said, a lot of it is entertainment, and Barberina gives you the entertainment in each and every fight that he's in because he wants to stand and bang. But no, he went the more strategic route, taking him down and making him tap.
There you go.
Yeah, this if you go back to the previous podcast, our not the previous picture, but the previous podcast that we did where we were making predictions, Gunnar pretty much followed the script that I laid out. He deviated. You know, I said he was going to use the karate to crash the distance, get the takedown. I said guillotine choke, but he said, yeah, but coach, arm bars are even more uncommon than the guillotine. So he wanted to keep the stats. So most common submission in MMA is rear naked choke, RNC. Then number 2 is guillotine. Number 3 is armbar.
Mm-hmm. Man, yeah. I mean, you guys really.
And so Gunner's trying to move the armbar up and challenge for the number 2 position, but he's not going to be able to do it all on his own.
No.
So no, guillotine's not going anywhere. Especially with so many people taking shitty shots and trying to grab an outside single. So head outside single.
It's crazy to think I've seen more fights where they've used the triangle this past year than I've seen the armbar.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very, very true.
I don't know the stats on the triangle. I just know the top 3.
Yeah. Well, the big thing with the triangle is the fact that you can use it from your back, and a lot of people use it as more of like a defensive mechanism, fighting people who are on top of them. But then it's just crazy how much people have won with it over the last year compared to like the 2-3 years beforehand. It's gone up because people are using it more the right way than it has been in the past.
Yeah, things go in cycles, right? Where for the longest time it was like Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so nobody actually could defend a takedown. So they didn't bother defending the takedown, and then they fought once they got to the ground. But then, so that's when there were more submissions back then. Now everyone knows wrestling and everyone defends takedown. So now there's scrambles when there weren't scrambles before. So yeah, things go in cycles. And right now we're kind of back like where it all started. Striker versus grappler.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
It's just the level of striking and the level of grappling is much.
I love that though, to be honest. It's kind of like more like, hey, bring it back old school, baby. I like it. For me, it gives a challenge to both fighters overall.
Yeah, but it's also just a reflection of reality, because the thing is, you can't be great at everything, and you're going to have natural physical attributes that's going to skew you one way or the other. And if I really want to start getting really nerdy on you, and I'm going to drop it.
I love it. Drop it for us. Drop it.
Something as uncontrollable as having high arches or flat feet is going to determine whether you're a striker or a grappler. So yeah, if you're flat-footed, you're not going to be much of a striker. Like literally, like your arch of your foot is dropped. You'll be a great grappler. You could be a great grappler, but you're not going to be a great striker. And a lot of high-level boxers, a lot of high-level strikers actually have high arches and supinate, which now I'm I know I've lost everybody, but so there's there's anatomical and mechanical differences. Grapplers tend to be shorter, broader, shorter legs, long torsos, broad shoulders. So there's anatomical differences that's going to make you better at one over the other. And then there's the opportunity cost. If you train a lot of grappling, you're going to get better at grappling, but it's going to be at the cost of striking. If you train a lot of striking, you're going to get better at striking, but it's going to be at the cost of grappling. So it's just it's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
So you need to, in today's MMA, you need to decide: are you a grappler who strikes, or are you a striker who grapples?
That's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. And speaking of grappling, let's get into it because I want to know where the fuck was this takedown? And you know what I'm talking about. What give us of this, basically, the co-main event. Give it to us.
We'll talk about talk about Street Fighter and striking.
Right? Right. Talk about grappling. You know what? The striking, baby. But yes, breaking that to baby.
We had a lightweight matchup. Justin Gagey defeated Rafael Fiziev by majority decision 29-20, 29-20, and 28-20.
Is it? I don't know.
It's Fiziev. You just can't see the little thing in the back.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought,
and talking about the judging, I got so much to say about this one. Once again, you get to me, they got it right, but the way they got it was just
right, yeah. Like
with the 10-8 third round.
Oh man,
Gagey, even though Fiziev landed 30 shots in the third round.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's some judge trying to give the right score and skirting, like not using the scoring system properly, but using the scoring system to make it a draw. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to fudge the last round so that it's a draw, and I could see it being scored a draw. I'm okay with that, except in a 3-round fight when there's no 10-8 round and there's no point deduction, you can't get a draw. If you're doing 10-9 scoring, if you're doing 10-point must scoring, you can't get a draw that way, and that's why they're odd. That's why there's no 4-rounders. That's why there's no 6-rounders. It's 3 or 5. They do it that way so that you can't do that. But he done did it, and I ain't even mad at him for it though.
Because his score meant nothing in the grand scheme of things, because the other two went 29-28.
But his score would have meant everything if somebody scored it.
Yes.
Agreed.
You're right. 28.
I would have felt better. I would have felt better had he gone 29-28 Fiziev. I would have felt better than a 28-28.
Yeah.
It's just with how it was, I just would have felt that at least it would have been justified. Like somebody won the third round, but it wasn't domination. It wasn't to the point where you're like, I'm going to go 10-8, like completely.
Maybe he saw all the blood and guts. Oh my God.
It's like I said, like I saw Street Fighter when I saw this one, because I felt like Justin Gagey was Guile with those uppercuts in the third round that he started to throw. It was just how he was using them. Like I felt like the first round, I said this when we did the prediction, I felt like Fiziev's cardio was going to play a factor in this one, because he always starts out very quick. His hand speeds and his leg kicks are very quick. He has a snapping leg kick. He got that off very early in the fight. He was landed the shots faster than Gagey was. Gagey has the power. He just doesn't have the speed that Fiziev has. And then that's why I gave him round one. He landed more shots, more effective striking, the more power. He was slowing down Gagey. There was at one point, I think he rocked Gagey, and a lot of people thought he was wobbled, but he was able to recover very quickly. But then round two, a little bit of the same, but then he started to slow down. There was a little bit less speed as the round was going. It kind of allowed Gagey to get back into things. And one thing I really like is when I like to see a fighter adjust. I like to see him adjust and make a little bit tweaks mid-round, and Gagey did that. He started to commit the punches. He wasn't throwing haymakers and then waiting. He was committing to combinations as the fight was going on. I mentioned it. He incorporated that uppercut. That uppercut was a big thing that he added halfway through round 2, and then basically was spamming it round 3. He would land a straight shot and follow it up with the uppercut, and Fiziev had no answer for it. And Fiziev was having a hard time with that leg kick, the inside leg kick of Gagey.
Oh, that was
Gagey it landed it, and then I think that played a factor in slowing him down too, because he landed a couple of those. Even though Fiziev has a snapping leg kick, he was doing it to the outside, and then Gagey would check it half the time. So it was hurting him, but not as much as that inside calf kick that Gagey was landing, where Fiziev wasn't checking it, and he was just letting it accumulate damage. And I think in round 3, that played a huge factor in the game plan for Fiziev, which they didn't talk about as much. They mentioned it a little bit, but not to the extent that they should have, I felt like. And Gagey, he's just all power. I think he was trolling us with that takedown at the end of the second.
Well,
I think it was a troll.
I mean, it was a troll until the third round. He finally used it in the third round.
He took him down to round 2.
Oh, round 2. By the end of round 2, there you go. I think was it right? By the end of round 2. Yeah.
Because round 3 was all that uppercut. It was boom, boom, and then he would switch hands with it. Which is lethal.
Yeah, but I'll give kudos to Vincent though. He took those fucking punches, man, and he stood his ground. I mean, the guy, man, he took fucking damage, and I'll give kudos to Gaethje. I mean, I guess maybe this is your basics, right? I guess we were under the impression wrestling. Were we gonna see wrestling? No, we not even see a fucking just one by the end of round 2. One takedown, no wrestling, nothing at all. He did his homework. I want to say that Gaethje did his fucking homework because he saw this.
He did try a couple of times, but he didn't commit to it. He just threw it and then back to the striking. It wasn't like.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Trevor Woodman probably told them, "Don't do it." Set up to him, told him to. I guarantee, if Trevor Woodman probably yelled out, "Don't take him down. Go ahead, go head to head," and he won. I mean, I'm 100% with you, basically. His cardio was the major factor in this, and those leg kicks, that inside kicks, was a hell of a major factor. But I still got to give him credit where credit's due. He stood his ground. He still went all 3 rounds. And it's kind of hard because the first round was kind of like, oh shit. Second round was like, okay, we're seeing something. Third round, by then it was like, all right, then it's all Gaethje. I feel like Gaethje, yeah.
This was the Bobby Green fight all over again. I felt like where he dominated the first round, Bobby Green slowly came back. The only difference was Bobby Green didn't win the second round. Gaethje did enough to just overtake Fiziev in the second round, and then the third, Fiziev just got beat up in both fights, and I was afraid that Bobby Green would take that by finishing Fiziev, but I think that at some point I feel like he's got to learn to work on that cardio. Like maybe it's just something where he is putting it all out on the line with how he strikes and how he fights, and he hopes that it's not going to play a big factor in this. But that's the one thing that he's missing, because I feel like if he corrects it, this guy is lethal. Just what he has like in his repertoire, his speed, he has the leg and the hands that he can use.
Unfortunately, it's if he does that kind of training, he'll lose the gifts that he has. He'll lose his speed and power if he does more cardio.
So it's like more like the give and take factor.
Yeah, it's a physiological. Like if you are fast and explosive and you have a lot of fast twitch motor units, you have a choice. Your body will adapt. It's called the SAID principle, specific adaptation to impose demand. Your body will adapt to the type of training that you do. And I was critical of Gaethje because he made that choice.
Yeah.
Actually, Trevor Whitman made it for him. And I don't think they understand at the risk of sounding like an asshole again and being arrogant. Very few people in the sport understand the physiology as well as I do. And I don't think that they are consciously making these decisions. They just made the decision. They just said, oh, well, you gassed out. You need to train more cardio.
Right.
So when you do, it's called LSD, not the drug. No, long, steady distance training. It's called steady state training. When you do a lot of steady state training, a lot of endurance training, a lot of aerobic training, a lot of cardio, you bias your nervous system and your biochemical system, your uh, physiology. You bias it towards less power but more endurance. When you do explosive training, you bias it towards more power but less endurance. And there's a balance to be found, and there is a couple right ways to do it. It's just me and maybe a few other people actually know what those are, and I'm not telling you right now. But
I do got a question. I do got a question though.
Go.
Which would I feel like it's a good one. Do you feel like Gagey? Because Gagey just seems like he has good cardio for a guy that throws a lot of haymakers and a lot of power. Do you think it's?
But he doesn't have the knockout power anymore. He doesn't have the fight ending one shot kill him. Like the last time that he killed somebody was Barboza, right?
That was that was the last one. You're correct. Yes.
Yeah, well, right? Because he bloodied up Ferguson, but Ferguson just takes everything. Do you think?
Oh, okay, but see, like
do you think
watching Ferguson? It's like, was it that Ferguson's that tough, or that that Gaethje wasn't actually? We don't know. I mean, we know that Tony is not really human, and that he's incredibly tough, and there's something else going on there. But Gaethje did not put him to sleep. He just beat the snot out of him. Right?
Do you think it's a testament that he trains at altitude in Denver, Colorado, where it might help him out?
Yes,
training
there, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Whereas maybe if he trained somewhere else,
he might
not have that.
Well, training at altitude, what training at altitude does is because there's less oxygen available, your body's adaptation to that stimulus is to create more red blood cells, and the red blood cells are what carries oxygen to the different cells in the body. So when you train at altitude, 6,000 feet or higher, and I think he's at 8,000 feet, right? So damn. So and that's like anyone that hasn't gone like living normal to altitude, like you take a trip up to Big Bear and you drive up to the summit and you step out the car, you get woozy.
That's correct. You're absolutely right.
Because we like oxygen. So yes, the body adapts to that, and then you come down to sea level and there's more oxygen available, and you have more red blood cells to carry the more oxygen. So then you have better endurance. The problem is at altitude, you are not able to work at the higher intensities because there is less oxygen. So you're making a trade-off, right?
And he's been in Denver. That's where he wrestled at college, and then he stayed there to train MMA.
Yep.
So
yeah, and they've been there a long time, but it's actually about the program design, coupled with the high altitude training, and really the ideal is live high, train low. So in a perfect world, I'd have a dormitory at 10,000 feet or 8,000 feet. That's where the fighters live. That's where they eat. That's where they sleep. And then they come down the mountain, train slightly below sea level so that they have more oxygen. They can train harder. They can really max out. And then they go and recover at altitude. And that's kind of the ideal formula. I just don't have the money for it yet. But then there's also program design where if you're doing like a lot of slow, light punches in high volume for a longer duration, that is going to bias your physiology to that type of output. So you'll have more volume but less power. All right. Where the thing that can't be trained, and what I saw that was really the key to this fight, is Gaethje's durability. His he should not have been conscious.
Yeah, he's a zombie. That's what I want to
Bro!
say. He's a zombie.
He was getting hammered, and like that one shot that wobbled him, he was I'm okay. What do you mean? No, you should be dead. You should be dead. No, I'm fine.
The way he got hit, it was like he got slapped when he got hit hard.
Damn.
They felt like he got hit. They felt like they were saying he got hit so hard that it rocked him, but then he got hit hard again to where it like woke him back up.
Yeah, no, I think it's just
Yeah.
like that boy picked the right parents for fighting. I'll tell you that. Yeah, like you can't. There's nothing you can't. That's not about training. That's about physiology and will to win, and who else? I don't know. Some metaphysical, spiritual. I don't know what else it is, but it's not physiological. I mean, you can't train it. It is physiological, right? You got thicker bones. You have a big, strong neck. Damn. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like I even hesitate to say that Fiziev has bad cardio, because he doesn't. He has great cardio, but his speed and power tax it.
Yeah.
And nobody should be able to stand up to it. But Gaethje did stand up to it. He couldn't put Gaethje away. Yeah. And Gaethje's durability trumped Fiziev's cardio. And that's just it was fascinating to watch. It's fun to watch. I don't know who won this fight though.
So you would consider a draw then? You would consider a draw?
I would have scored it a draw if it were possible to score a draw, but it's not possible to score it a draw,
right?
Because there is no point deduction. There's 3 rounds and there's no 10-8 round. Yeah. So somebody's got to win, and I'm okay. I'm actually happy because I really like Justin and I really like Trevor. I'm happy that they won. However, I could see the first 2 rounds going to Fiziev. Yeah. You know, the first round definitely went to Fiziev. The third round definitely went to Justin. That's okay. Well, where did it happen? No, I'm wrong, because that bullshit takedown at the end, that should have been enough for it actually to be like, okay, this guy won.
Yeah.
So that bullshit takedown was the difference maker in the fight for me.
That collision wrestler, the takedown. Came out.
Honestly, he was he was like, oh, well, all right. Like, he was like, hey, I'm here. I'm falling. Let me take him down.
He did it like that. Yeah, he kind of hesitated a little bit. Oh, fuck. You know what? All right.
Let me really get into his head with that takedown.
And it was almost like, I'm falling down, taking a nap anyway. Let me just put him. It wasn't. That was not D1, son. That was not D1. That was.
And after the fight, they asked what's next, and Gaethje said, "Give me Poirier again." And then Poirier said, "Let's run it back." So it looks like we might get.
They should get that, because then from there he could. That should be the number 1 contender for that lightweight title. The winner of Poirier and Gaethje, because remember he lost.
Well, next month I think after, because I think Dariush Oliveira is the number 1.
Oh well, yeah, after. Well, yeah, mixed. Well, yeah, after. Yeah.
So it'll be the next one, and then from what I'm gathering from a lot of people is they want to give Rafael Fiziev to the loser of Dariush and Oliveira.
Man, what a great division.
Yes.
Like, I don't care. Who is it? Doesn't matter. Are they top 10? I want to see him fight. I don't care. I don't care. Just let me see him fight. Like,
Love it.
the
Hell
whole
Like
division.
you got all these, and we haven't even mentioned Arman Sarukian, who's getting ready to fight.
Bro.
Gamrot, who fought a few weeks ago. The
That's
part of
gonna
it,
be a good fight, too.
Jalen Turner had that good fight with the Gamrot. Like, there's just a lot of talent, and then that's just rank fighters.
Is Jalen Turner lightweight?
Yeah, he's lightweight.
He's lightweight.
Okay.
And then you have the returning. Then you got the returning Kevin Lee, who's fighting Tony Ferguson.
I'm sorry.
You're biased. You're biased by it.
No. Kevin's a nice guy. I don't. But dude, you dipped out the promotion while you were in your prime. You've been farting around and you've been slumming it. He's got a rough road ahead of him. I don't think he's gonna do well. I think he's gonna come back.
I feel like the stuff with that fight that they haven't mentioned yet. I feel like it's going to be at welterweight.
Oh,
Okay.
That's my guess.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be at welterweight. That'd probably be the better move for either him or Ferguson, considering the fact that they both. That's what their last fights was welterweight. That's what he did in Eagle FC.
Wait. When is this happening?
They're talking about, I believe, July.
Okay, and it's Kevin Lee
and Ferguson.
And this is two, right?
Two.
Okay. So that is actually that's an interesting fight to make, right? It's kind of like welcome back,
Here's Ferguson.
Kevin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Ferguson's always entertaining, but I think his best days are behind him, right?
Yes.
But I don't think Kevin Lee is going to do well in the UFC. I think that'll be a cool fight. I think running it back is always good. But man, he's in for some rough nights. Especially if he fights at lightweight. I mean, but he's too small. He is too small for welter. He's got to fight it. He's got to fight at lightweight. Yeah.
Just like you said, I felt like he left the UFC. He did the one fight, Eagle FC, won the title there. But then Eagle FC kind of just disappeared because Habib went away. So it makes me think that maybe he was forced to go back to the UFC because he couldn't do that. Because I remember he had that contract with Eagle FC where all of his money was going to be in crypto. It was that weird contract that he had.
Nice.
Oh man.
All right.
Hey, listen, I'm 52, and the amount of questionable life choices that I've made, so I can't fault the guy for looking at Russian crypto, going, "Hey, yeah, pay me in that." If it worked out, it would have worked out really well. Unfortunately, it didn't. It went really, really sideways. So. That's unfortunate. Yeah. And the whole thing with the Eagle FC just kind of crumbling, that's sad too. But what are you going to do?
Exactly. Speaking of what are you going to do, let's get into the main event. What is he going to do? And this is what we thought we were going to do, but, we all chose. Oh, man. Go ahead, Bigley. Bring us home. Take us home.
Well, I put it wrong. It should have been welterweight, but for some reason I put middleweight, so I'll fix that. But we got the welterweight championship. We have Leon. Yeah, we have Leon Edwards, who defeated Kamaru Usman by decision 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27. Which that doesn't sound right as anything. But that's what they put down.
Who the fuck are these coaches? Were they amateurs or judges? Are they amateur judges?
Well,
Where the fuck
but
did they come
it's
from?
wait, no, this can't be right. It's a 5-round fight.
Exactly.
That's what. Jesus. Oh my
You
god.
know, you know what it was? It was
The point.
30, 36, 30, 36, 30, 36, and then I think 39, 35. I think was the 39, 35.
39-35. Is that what it was?
I'm gonna
Um.
bring it up right now.
Yeah. But look, man, I'm just gonna say I want to give. I want to.
No, 46, 48, 46, 48, 47, 47.
All right.
Right. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm just okay. I'm gonna digress on this because it's like I didn't look. My heart wanted Leon. I said it last week, but we all thought, so, mentally, analytically, we'll say that it will be Usman. Okay, but I forgot even to mention you on the chat. See, you're fucking right, and look what happened. It got to him. That kick fucking got to Usman. That was it. This match, this fight, that's it. It's done. Congratulations to Leon. Great fight. Obviously, he had the heaviest hitting fucking strike, punches compared to Usman's takedowns. But hey, another credit to him as well that Leon was able to get out of it and get back up and put him back on his feet. Loved it. Fantastic. Leon really did his fucking homework. And I think he did it right. And man, congratulations to him. And just seeing, I think, yeah, you were right, Coach. You nailed it. I mean, we all thought it was Usman at first in the beginning. But however, you said that mentality, it's not going away. You let that ego, that revenge, and the shit talking. By the end of the round, it's like making it more worse. Leon didn't even say a word. Leon was just like, okay, all right, motherfucker, I'm going to get you. And look what happened in the last few rounds. Oh, man. So kudos to Leon. What I'm disappointed was seeing, of course, Kobe fucking Covington. Why the fuck does he deserve a fight? Why does he? Even Gilbert Burns is complaining. I was just watching it right now on social media. He's complaining. How the hell did this guy's the next title contender? How?
You wonder
How
why?
is Kobe? Yeah, money, baby.
Money, baby.
No. Not money. He did Dana Fever. That's why.
Because he was on standby in case anybody gets hurt. He was the. I know that I do.
Which he didn't know until a couple of days before they needed him. So for him to be weigh in 170 and do it within 2 days, because it wasn't like he knew like weeks in advance. He only knew like a day or two, and then he flew to London, in England, and weighed in and did it. So I think that's why. Plus the fact Burns was in the fight with Masvidal in a couple weeks in the co-main event. You got Chimaev, who's moving the middleweight for a fight. He wants to fight Whitaker in a ranked fight and then come back down to welterweight. I don't know why. And you had guys who had fought already. So it's kind of like it kind of made sense. Had Usman won, I think it would have been different. I don't think it would have been Colby Covington. But because it was Edwards, it's a different matchup. That's why you saw Colby get so excited.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter who is fighting Kobe. People are going to watch because they either want to watch him win or they want to watch him lose. He knows how to sell. He's obnoxious, but he sells. So that's a business decision. The other thing, the company, like you said, if Usman had won, it would be a different opponent. But they want Leon to hold the belt for a bit. They don't want the belt to play hot potato and change, right? So it's okay, let's keep it in England for a little while. Let's give him somebody that's going to make us our money and who Leon should be. And that's Kobe. But anyone of those other names that Gilbert Burns, hold on. Chimaev, that's not it, right? So yeah, there's some killers in this weight class. So what I saw different in this fight, Leon and his team really dissected the grappling of Usman and figured out how to shut it down. In the first fight, he didn't. He outfought Usman in the first round, and then he got his ass handed to him for the next 4 rounds, and then he landed that head kick and knocked him out. I am disappointed that the game plan wasn't to knock out Usman, and the game plan was to take it the distance. And by the way, I actually scored it a draw. I had Leon winning round 1, Usman round 2. Then Leon grabbed the fence and got the point deducted, right? So Usman won 2 rounds, Leon won 3 rounds. Leon got a point deduction. That's 47-47. That's a draw. Right. So that's how I had it scored. But the other judges had Usman winning. Edwards winning 4 rounds and Usman only winning that 1 round. So where the point deduction occurred. So, all right, whatever. But I was disappointed that he didn't go and make the knockout happen. He didn't hunt it. He didn't really. Leon was too passive for my personal taste. Mm-hmm. And I believe he actually could have gotten the knockout again if he implemented all the game that he had, shut down the wrestling like he did, and set up the striking. But he didn't really set up the striking. He was very conservative with his striking. It's just he's a better striker than Usman, so he would, one shot here, one shot there. The liver went for the liver kick. Okay, didn't land it. But I think had he taken a little more risk with the striking and been a little more confident and been a little more aggressive, I think he could have really knocked out Usman again.
Well, there was a point though, because when I don't remember what round was it when he gave him that knee strike. There was a time that Usman was like, "Oh shit, yep," a little bit wobbly. He hesitated, Leon, to go ahead and continue with the strike. If he would have done that, that would have been your knockout right there. So there was an opportunity there that he missed. I don't know why he kind of like hesitated for like a second or two, but you gave Usman an opportunity to come back up and okay.
Yep. Because when you are aggressive like that, then how everyone says you have a puncher's chance. Well, he had a grappler's. Usman had a grappler's chance. Even when you get rocked, you still have a chance of securing a takedown.
Right.
You still have a chance, right? So Edwards landed the knee. Usman got wobbled. Leon backed off, because if he had stayed in and it was already at close range, it was already in tight where the knee was, right? So you're already that close. Collisions happen. It could have turned into it could have gone to the ground, and he didn't want that to happen. So he was being a lot more conservative. But he won the fight. He's the champ, and still, good job.
Yeah, I'm happy. At the end, I was happy. I was like, yes! I swear about it. When we're on the chat, I'm there, and I'm just like here, watching it. I'm like, oh no, it's already. I'm waiting for the and you, but then when I heard still, I'm like, no fucking. I lost my fucking mind. I'm sorry, I lost my mind. I couldn't expect it, but what makes sense, the fact because of Leon's his strikes were very extremely damageable to him, especially those knee strikes. And I'm like, I just wish that Leon would have taken advantage of that. But hey, I hope he can do this to Covington. I hope you do.
The other thing that tells me that he was being conservative, his percentage. He was extremely accurate, and he had a very high rate of landing. So of the significant strikes attempted, it was a very high percentage landed. So he was being very, very particular and calculated and cautious. It paid off, right?
Yeah.
Most of Leon's strikes that he threw landed, and that's not normal for fighting.
No.
Yeah, you usually are a little more aggressive, but
Yeah, I mean, just looking at his percentage of total, wow, like 2013 first round total strikes, and second round 23-32. Of course, that was more Usman. Round 3, 25-22 total strikes. 26, 15 to the fourth round, 29-31 the fifth. I mean, I don't know, that makes fucking sense, but I mean, yeah, it's wow, yeah, you're right. It makes me think.
I'm about to have like a unpopular opinion
Uh-oh.
that might not be agreed on. And there's a lot of different points I have on this fight, but the one thing is I felt like Usman won it. I mean, Usman lost it rather than I think Leon won it.
Yeah.
Because I still feel like we're talking about the grappling. He still took him down 5 times, controlled him on the mat for 6 minutes. I just felt like his fundamentals weren't there in this fight, where as usually the fundamentals are there. That's why I think in a Colby Covington fight, he's really good with the fundamentals and with his wrestling. It's just that he doesn't have the power with the striking. It's like you see Colby landing tons of shots. It's just that there's not that much on it. Whereas Usman has a little bit of power. That mixed in the fact I felt like he was getting kind of agitated because you had like the couple groin shots, you had the grabbing of the cage. You could see Usman getting just
fingers in the gloves, grabbing
fingers in the glove.
Leon
he
was cheating his ass off.
Yeah, he was getting fidgety. He was getting agitated. He was getting angry. I think that probably took a little over of him, rather than him trying to stay composed. And Leon, that he was mad at the cage grab, but then he was able to stay composed enough to do what he needed to do. I feel like Usman got the takedowns, and then he wasn't just hooking over on him with the hands to control him down. He was trying to just drive him down and then use his strength rather than use just the technique to keep him down, because he would have been able to control him on the mat, because he was getting him down in the championship rounds 3, 4, and 5. He just couldn't hold him down because he wasn't trying to do the right way of keeping him down and then landing shots on him and at least getting the control rather than getting him down and landing shots above him. And it allowed Leon Edwards to get back up. And you could see each time that happened, the commentary booth would be like, I'm not sure if it was Bisbin or if it was somebody else. They were mentioning, they're like, he's not hooking him. He's not hooking him. His fundamentals are wrong right now, because he could be holding him down like the first fight, but Leon would just get out. And I felt like that played a big factor in the rounds that were Usman's would just gravitate to Leon, because then Leon would just get up and land those precise shots that were very effective. So I feel like this could have been a fight that would have been born where Usman could have won all 5 rounds or 4 of the 5 rounds, but because of the technique with the takedowns and fundamentals, I felt like 2 of the rounds swayed back to Leon in that fight. I still had it, just like Coach, I had it like, I watched it a second time. I had it a tie when I rewatched it the second time because of that third round, that
fence grab. Yeah.
But it's still like I feel like Usman lost it himself. Like, and that's not me taking away from Leon. I just felt like just mentally Usman wasn't in the right space because of everything happening in that fight. The stop and start, and then not being able to use the wrestling fundamentals the right way that he usually did. I felt like he was a little bit lazy.
I think that probably was the key factor. I mean, it's crazy how we predicted that last week. We really mentioned that factor was the mental state. Was he ready for that? And like how you both of you guys mentioned, it got to him. The whole cheating part, the grabbing the cage, the finger, the low blow, I guess you could say, right? And it literally, so you got to think about it. He really thought revenge. That's all was in his mind. was to get revenge, to get, hey, I am not gonna allow you to embarrass me of how you embarrassed me in the last fight for knocking me out. This time I'm gonna punish you and embarrass you in front of your home country. And it backfired. That mentality really backfired his game plan. You know, I guarantee you that Whitman probably had something in mind what to do, but he probably didn't use it correctly. And I kind of noticed too on Whitman's corners, they were getting frustrated with Whitman, like, hey, all right, now take it.
They're telling him, take him down. Him down, and then he would stand there and strike,
and he would stand there
and then he would finally go shoot for the takedown, and he would get it, but then he wasn't getting the proper position in when he was getting him down, and it just allowed Leon to just pop back up easily.
Yeah, I mean, good fight,
I'm looking forward to the matchups that they're going to make after this, because you got Leon Colby, even though Leon's saying that he's not going to sign the contract right now. At this moment, but then they want to book Usman against the winner of. They haven't announced the fight yet, but it should be announced shortly. You got Shavkat versus Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that's gonna happen, and that's gonna be a good fight. I don't know who to go for. I love both.
And then. Can you imagine the winner of that fighting Usman? Can you imagine Usman versus Shavkat?
Oh, fuck. Oh, man. But, man, that is it for us here, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you guys here for tuning in. But, of course, we'll be back here in, what is it? The next event we have is UFC 287 as Pereira Adesanya. Can we say there's 3, right? Is it 3 or 4? Can we say 3, right?
This might well be 5.
5, I guess, because we're not counting against the other ones, but this is going to be a good card. I mean, the main event, Pereira versus Adesanya, and of course you have Gilbert Burns versus George Masvidal.
I don't get that. I don't get that matchup.
Which one?
Burns and Masvidal.
It's money.
It's money fight. It's all money fight.
Burns, of course, lost to Usman, and Leon Edwards was fighting him, so he wants to stay active, and he's already fought everybody in that range, and so this is a easy money fight for Burns.
Right. It's both. Yeah. It's easy, and it's easy money.
Okay. Yeah. Funny thing, they're fighting in Florida. Okay, they're fighting in Miami, Florida.
Okay.
There you go. Because Masvidal, it all makes fucking sense now.
Part of me is biased on this card because I'm a big Giannis fan, and you got him fighting Rob Font. That's a guy that's a big fight for Adrian Yanez.
It is, and that's going to be a good fight, to be honest.
I'm hoping he pulls it out because that's another guy in that division there that could become a big contender there.
That is a great matchup. That's like skill v skill. That's like Rob Font can bang, he can fight, and Yanez has got hands.
Yes, he does.
He's got some real boxing skill.
I had Yanez on the show right before he fought. I think it was the Dr. Pepper one where they went Dr. Pepper. The winner got Dr. Pepper. So who was it? I think it was Costa, the Randy Costa fight.
He fought Randy Costa?
Yeah.
Did he? Okay, let me see. Hold on.
It was Costa or...
Oh, Randy Costa. Yes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That was
it was like a friendly rager bet because Adrian Yanez loves Dr. Pepper. So because he won, Randy Costa bought him like a fridge full of Dr. Pepper. Jesus. But no, I had him on. He's a great guy. He is very skilled with his hands. All about the training, and that was when he was unranked. Now he's ranked now, and
he's what number? And
Rob Font is that. I think that gatekeeper now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, Coach, your boy Rosas is on the main card.
Yeah.
He's fighting Rodriguez.
Wow. He's on the main card.
Yes. Congratulations to Raul Rosas Jr., man. He's fighting Christian Rodriguez on the main card. Oh,
Now
that's
did his
awesome.
parents have to sign the slip for him?
Oh,
Yeah.
hey,
The
look,
permission
look at
slip?
that. I can't believe it. He's in the main card already. Kudos to that man. Hell yeah. I'm fucking
Now,
so happy.
explain to
then-
me why there's a Mexican flag next to him and not an American flag. He's from Northern California.
Yeah, I know, but they're going based on his heritage. You know how that is.
Yeah.
You know.
And his dad like straight Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That explains why they
His
gave him
dad,
the
his
flag.
dad, his dad was a fighter, which is why, and trained all three sons, homeschooled in their basement. Yeah, and like the other two boys are fucking killers too, and they're probably going to be in the UFC also soon. Which that's just crazy.
Awesome. Congratulations. If you see him, you better congratulate him. That's awesome, man. I hope he calls you. Need some training, coach. I think he will call you for this fight. I hope he does. You're probably going to Florida. There you go. Okay, be on his corner. Woo-hoo. Coach going to Florida. Coach Rage going to Florida for 287. You never know. Hey, I'm not kissing telling, man. Might happen, ladies and gentlemen. Might happen. If not, we're gonna force Coach Rage to take a selfie that he's over there in Miami, Florida. Hey, it's gonna happen. Mark my word.
Now, before we got a comment, and then I got something to say. We got Streets chiming in. Will you do some betting stuff on the card? Also, he was asking who knew UFC enough to bet in the league chat. I said I know some guys. Yeah, like I usually put a little bit out on the website. I do like the cage bet slip. I'll be putting that out tomorrow for UFC San Antonio. I did pretty decent on UFC 286. I did very good on the card before that. But you can check that out on the website.
That's right. BloodlineNetwork.com. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go there and you can find everything there.
I do want to.
For me, I can't give any advice about gambling. It's conflict of interest because I work in the industry.
That's right. Absolutely.
But I do want to give a shout out to some of the fights on the prelims. It sucks that we had a fight that looked like it was going to be a good fight, but then added an injury. Dusko tore his, I think he tore his ACL in the first round against Christian Leroy Duncan. That looked like it was going to be a very fun fight because he stepped on his foot wrong and his knee buckled in placement. So it looks like he's going to be missing probably a good amount of time to fix that knee. Yeah, Jake Hadley, who TKO'd Malcolm Gordon with a nice array of body shots, followed by a shot to the face. He said that he had trained that. He had seen that aggressiveness of Gordon in training, and they incorporate a lot of body shots into the fight game plan.
Oh, wow, you went early prelims. All right.
You got Makayev, who was put in that.
I want to reiterate what you said about Jake Hadley. Like, I don't know, his mic skills I think need some work, or maybe that's lost in communication thing. Like, he's from a different country and all that, but man, his left hand, baby, his left hand, that's good for boxing, let alone MMA. But he doubled it up to the liver, and yeah, baby.
And he's been having a war of words with Makayev, so I think that's a fight that we might see in the future, depending on how that leg of Makayev is doing.
So, what do you guys think about that? About Makayev's not tapping to that knee bar and getting
it shocked the shit out of me, to be honest.
It probably in the long run he should have tapped, but his pride got the better of him. He wanted to win the fight, and then he wound up getting the rear naked choke. But then if you look at how his knee looked after the fight, it looked bad.
Yeah, and being such a little dude, like these are flyweights, right?
Yeah,
those kind of injuries, man, and he's so young, right? He's like 22 or some shit, right? So now you've messed up your ligaments in your knee. That I don't care what you say. He said, I'm fine. I'm fine. You're not fine. It's never going to be the same. You're never going to have the same function. Where you have a loss on your record, you'll recover from that, but you will never recover from that. Those
and that was even
fight.
the injury that he was coming into the fight with. We were talking about the shoulder,
right? The labrum injury that he had.
And this is really the different one. And then like this fight, Duncan Morales. I had this Duncan 30-27. I thought he just controlled it. He's a guy with the hands. He was getting a bar fight like Barberina, but he showcased wrestling in this one. I didn't expect that because we hadn't seen it. And he showcased it very well. But if you look at the judges' scorecard, one judge gave it 30-27 to Omar Morales. And I'm just like, what was that judge seeing? Like, did he see the right fight?
This is an amateur. This is an amateur judge fight night for them. Bunch of amateurs coming in.
And good to Jack Shore getting the victory there. I know he's going through a lot with his father, who is one of his trainers. I think, isn't he fighting cancer or something like that? I believe he mentioned his father was fighting something, and then you see his father, who was in his corner, just emotional after the fight, and he was able to get that victory here with the moving up to featherweight from bantamweight. Makwan Americani, we said it before, he always has a quick first round, which he did, but then Jack Shore recovered and was able to get him with the victory there in round 2, which looked good. I want to see a little bit more Jack Shore. I want to see him more, take more fights, and I don't want to take too many, but I want to see more active, because I like what I see when he's more active. When he's only doing one fight a year, you can see the inconsistencies come out. But when he fights 2 to 3, you see him do a lot better. And I like the striking. He's a guy with great jiu-jitsu, and then I like his leg kicks. I look at the jiu-jitsu kickboxing mixture, and it's weird to me because, of course, I don't fight, but I like the mixture. I like the combination of a guy grappling in jiu-jitsu, but then having the leg kicks on top of it. I like that mixture. It's one thing that maybe that's why I gravitate a lot towards a one championship, because there's a lot of that combination in that promotion.
I need to look into that. Definitely. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, how Bakley said it. Go to the bloodline. Yes, go ahead, Coach.
Didn't you had something else to say?
Yeah.
That was it? You just Okay, cool.
But yes, bloodlinenetwork.com, ladies and gentlemen. Go right there. You can find Bakley Slips right there on the MMA tab. He'll give you, of course, our recent interview was, of course, David El Perro Recio Diaz. Oh, man. Awesome conversation.
I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed that one, yeah.
Yes, and you see Bakley's best slip right here for Fight Night 221 is already up on the website. And, of course, right here, us. We're right here, too, so you can see ours. Yay! We're right here on the website, too. And, of course, you catch Bakley, of course, his predictions for Fight Night 221 as well, already up and going. Man,
and you got my interview with Tanner Boozer. He's going to be in the co-main event of UFC Fight Night in Kansas City in a few weeks.
So, yes. Yes, absolutely. Tanner Boozer, ladies and gentlemen, coming up in the weeks. But we're here. So you want to get all your MMA, your sports, it's right here, bloodlinenetwork.com. You can find anything, NFL, NBA, MLB, fantasy sports, right here. Anything you want to do, you can find it all here on one source. And, of course, you go to the audio platforms. You can listen to us on the right side of the website. You can go there, too. So make sure, go to the bloodlinenetwork.com. Enjoy it, baby. Enjoy it. See right there, right here, all the audios right here, so you can download it, listen to it while you're in the shower, training. If you're training with Coach Rage, but he'll give you shit if you're listening to us with Coach Rage. Like, what are you listening to? You're listening to Coach. So you gotta be careful. You cannot be distracted, because Coach will put you through that pain. But yes. Ladies and gentlemen,
enjoy the fights this week. We got a very fun main event this Saturday in San Antonio. We got Cheeto Vera versus Corey Sanhagen. I'm
That's gonna be
looking
good.
forward to that main event.
The whole card is pretty stacked. Bonnie, I think Holly Holmes is in there too. So just looking forward to seeing that. We'll talk about it. We'll break it down on the next one. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And for all the audio platform listeners listening también, Brazil, thank you for making us your number 27, 28 on the audio platforms. Thank you guys. I don't know why Brazil loves us. Shout out to Australia too, as well. Tom out there, broadcast. Appreciate you guys. And shout out to Ireland for keeping us right there around the 100s, at least on the audio platforms. Thank you guys. We appreciate you guys, especially for this show, especially for the MMA show, baby. We're kicking ass right here. But yes, we'll be back here for UFC 287 in 2 weeks from today on April 5th, which we'll be giving our predictions for UFC 287 for Adesanya and Piero 2. That's just gonna have 3, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. 5, 6,
5 actually, yes.
Yeah, 5. There you go, 5. 5 it is. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, the host Stevie is what I would see. Dan Bakley, Cage IQ. Just subscribe to him as well. And of course, the man that brings that pain to you, Coach Rage. Iron, ladies and gentlemen. Follow this man. Description right below. You have questions, you want to get trained, go to this man right here. He will take you to school. He'll take you to hell and back. And then, yes, ask the Modest Brothers. What do you think they haven't been on the show? They've been in pain because of this man. That's what happened. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we will catch you guys on the next one.